What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cheesemint and Chill, where we cheesemeat and we chill. And today, everybody, we are talking about Baddies Caribbean reunion. Finally, listen, you guys, I have a bone to pick with Zeus, and I think we all do. Coming out Sunday, October 6th. Today is October 6th. And I kept seeing the comments, and people, every 50 comments, somebody was like, oh, they said at 8 Eastern time. And I'm like, when did they say at 8 o'clock Eastern time? When? You guys, if they did, it was quick. It was on only one of their posts, and they definitely didn't reiterate every time they said 5 days left, 4 days left, 3 days left. It should have been Sunday, 8 Eastern time, if that was the case. I just jumped right into it. Okay, we're talking about that today. We are talking about Mama Tot news, interestingly enough, and Seb and Kayla drama, which is already kind of old news. That's not much drama there, but I'll go over it. Basically, too hot to handle cast drama. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the Baddies reunion, and I'm actually probably going to I was going to say edit it into the end, but you know what? No, you know what? I'll just leave it. I'll make the editing as easy as possible, and I'll do my best to keep it concise and clear. Okay, I want to cover every little thing that happened at the reunion. I actually have it on the screen behind me, so I can scroll through and make sure I didn't miss anything at all, okay? So, first thing is, let's see, who fought today in the reunion? Well, let's go over some of the issues, okay? Some of the issues that the girls had that they've talked about so far. And they kind of went over, they briefly touched on the issue that Jayla had with Gretchen. If you guys remember, Gretchen was running around very comfortably saying the N-word, and Jayla said, don't say that. It's not appropriate. You're in a room full of black women. We don't appreciate it. Essentially, listen, I'm not going to say whether or not I think somebody should or shouldn't say it, because it's not my place, to be honest with you. But what I will say is it just looked like a castmate was trying to set a boundary, and the other castmate wasn't having it. And they should have, because at the end of the day, it's a boundary. And just because her black friends at home don't care doesn't mean that those friends speak for all black people, right? Anyway, that's my opinion. I think it should have been a simple, all right, you know what? Where I come from, I don't mean no harm. However, considering what you just said to me, I won't say it for the 6 weeks or however long, whatever. So they touched on that. And then I guess that Mariah would say it too. And that saucy host was very quick to be like, okay, hold on, Jayla. How come when Gretchen said it, it was all a problem, but then when Mariah was saying it? But I think Jayla and Mariah are a lot closer, so it obviously didn't lead to that. But also, Mariah, while Jayla was talking to her, she was nodding her head. She was very understanding, you know? Clearly, Mariah had a habit and either no longer has the habit or is just better at kind of knowing when and where, I guess. I don't know. It seems like a personal thing. Some people care if you say it, some people don't. You just have to read the room. I mean, I don't know why people should be saying it, but I've heard both sides of the argument. It doesn't matter, but that was Jayla's issue, and we're going to probably see that. We do not see the Jayla and Gretchen fight this episode. Gretchen doesn't even come on screen, I don't think. But what we do see, one of the fights, and I might be skipping ahead here because I just want to talk about it. One of the fights that kind of broke my soul a little bit, and I don't know if I talked about this last time I talked about Baddies, but was Tinka and Meatball. Because these two women, from what, how they portrayed themselves and everything, were close before the show. They knew each other's moms, they knew each other's families, they were just close. Sisters, basically. And so to see them kind of fight the way that they did in the episode, it just bummed me out because I don't know, I've had fallouts with girlfriends. I think we all have, and they might feel more of a betrayal than a breakup, because it's we're women, we're supposed to kind of understand each other, and whatever, and that sucks, but I don't see myself, even today, putting my hands on somebody that I once called my best friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just too far. But anyway, so they fought. And if we want to just talk about the fight, okay, these are just my opinions, okay? These are just my opinions. I think the very first round, I think they went like 3 or 4 rounds. The first round, I think Tinka got Meatball. She got her a couple times. Pretty good in the face. And like the second, like the middle rounds, it was kind of hard to tell because, you know, when people kind of start grappling in the middle of a fight, you can't really tell who's getting like more hits in. The very last one, I think Meatball got a really good grip and then got Tinka a couple times. I don't think they're gonna recover from this. Do best girlfriends recover from like fist fights? I guess I should be able to answer that considering how much I've seen Baddies. Well, no, because even Natalie and Scotty, they have gotten into physical fights, and I don't feel like their friendship is the same. Like, I really don't. And it shouldn't be. Like, Natalie bullied the crap out of Scotty. Like, she really took advantage of Scotty's loyalty. And for that, I'll probably never respect her. There's probably a million other reasons why I would never respect Natalie, but this isn't the Natalie episode. Actually, does anything even happen with Natalie in this episode? I think a little bit with Tommy, kind of. But, anyway, so that was the Tinka and Meatball fight. And then we had Mariah and Bianca, which, listen, I love Mariah. I think Mariah might be like an acquired taste because I didn't like her at first. I thought she was kind of annoying, but she warmed up to me. I am a little bit confused though because they showed these texts on the screen, which, boo on the editor. You guys need to fire and hire a new editor. I'm not kidding. Because why weren't those texts brought up to the screen as a viewer at home? Why? Somebody explain that to me. That was a mistake, obviously. So I don't know what those texts said, but everybody's saying something different. At first, I believed Mariah because it was like, I told you me and Sapphire didn't have a problem anymore, and you still came in and fought with her. And then Bianca's like, no, but you texted me. And then even Sapphire was like, yeah, you texted her saying, I don't know if me and Sapphire are going to fight or not, LOL, kind of like joking about it, but I don't know who to believe. I'd definitely be disappointed if Mariah was lying, but because I do like her and I trust her in general. But yeah, that was a little, yeah. As far as Bianca goes, the spitting stuff just makes me not a fan. Honestly, I think that's like crazy disrespectful that she always brings that into fights. Shocked, actually, she didn't spit when she fought Mariah, did she? Not that I can see, but as far as like who won the fight, okay, well, you know, to play Mariah's side for a second, Bianca did kind of sneak her. She did kind of sneak her. But on the other end of it, Mariah shouldn't have. I mean, you know somebody's right there, and you know that she's known to sneak. So why would you like turn your back to her? Doesn't matter. Bianca got her. Like, ugh, like I'm not a blood person. I'm really not a blood person. But her eye, her eye looked fucked up. But I don't know if she got her eye when she snuck her, or if she got it in the middle of a fight, because I think that says two different things. But yeah, so they fought, and I guess Mariah wanted to leave the show or I hope she didn't actually leave, but you know, she definitely left for now. As far as the other baddies, I do love Sapphire. I love Callie. I think Callie might be like, I think she's the prettiest one from who's on stage right now. I'm like looking in the background. I'm trying to remind myself what happened. We do not, and I think we all knew this was going to happen, but we do not see the Tasiki and Diamond fight. As far as like the Callie and Natalie fight, like in the beginning, do I believe that Callie didn't mean any harm? No. I think she definitely did it like for attention or for camera time or for whatever she wanted to do. But I think maybe she realized the consequence of attacking the HBIC, if you will, wasn't worth it. Because obviously she's an executive producer. I'm pretty sure she has a say in who can and cannot be on the show. So I don't really believe her, but other than that, I mean, I love Callie. I think she's I like the way that she stuck with Gretchen, just because Gretchen was like, I mean, even though she did it to herself, you know, she was the odd one out and she didn't want her to feel alone. So I thought that just showed like her empathic side, which was nice. So I do like and appreciate Callie. She's also beautiful, which I already mentioned. The whole meatball thing, you know what? I'm going to just talk about it briefly while I wait for the next part of the reunion to start. But you guys, like, I really don't think that she deserved to get a Baddies chain. Like, I really don't. I mean, she spent like half the season depressed and kind of not involved with everybody. I don't really remember her for anything in particular. Like, for example, Tinka. I thought she was so funny. She's literally the comedian of Baddies, and I'm usually pretty standoffish when it comes to anybody new in a TV show that I'm already accustomed to certain people. I think everybody might be like that, even like with Grey's Anatomy or with fictional shows, real reality TV. Like anybody new, it's kind of like, like you like the originals. But for a newbie, Tinka she's just awesome. She has personality. She stands on what she says. I mean, they'll do, except for Biggie, probably. Biggie's not a fighter, you guys. Come on. Like, I think we all know that. But I don't think she should have got a Baddies chain. I really don't. I don't think that, especially the way she was with Tinka. Like, she's definitely the type of friend that she will, like, she's your friend and she supports you and she loves you only when as long as you're not doing better than her. You know what I mean? Which is just ridiculous, because I saw Tinka on a podcast recently. What was it recently? I don't know if it was recent, but I know it was after the reunion, where she was telling a story about how when Tinka first got successful, she had invited Meatball to come visit her over on the West Coast or the East Coast, whatever, somewhere. And when Meatball came, she was kind of like acting bitter. She was like, like kind of felt like Tinka was rubbing it in her face, like her success. And I'm like, she's not rubbing it in your face. She's like sharing her. Man, if one of my friends had gotten successful and had all this money, I'd be like, we'd be having fun together. You know, I wouldn't take advantage, but like if they're offered to like put me in a hotel and take me to Disneyland for the day, I'd be like, what the hell, yeah, you know what I mean? And guess what? I would do the same for my friend. So like, it's not a problem. We're just like sharing the wealth, sharing the, you know, it's not like I'm better than you, or I succeeded first, or I make more money, or da-da-da. Like, it's not a competition, and it shouldn't be. If you're keeping score in a romantic relationship, who I took out the trash last, you take out whatever, and in a friendship, platonic friendship, those two mean the same thing. Anyway, it's not going to work out. It's just not. So stop keeping score. On a whole side note, knock it off. Just do what you can. You love the person. You do what you can. If you're tired and you don't want to do it on this day, then don't. But tell that person, babe or dude, whoever you're talking to, I'm tired today. I can't be there like I normally am. Communicate. Stop keeping score. Stop it. If you love them, you'll stop keeping score. Knock it off. That's your ego. There's no place for ego in a relationship. I don't know why I just went on that tangent. I just feel like that with Tinka and Meatball. Like, it's just the ego. You know what I mean? With Meatball. And not an ego, but like an insecurity, you know? But yeah, like I said, Biggie is not a fighter. So Jayla standing up and trying to get in her face and trying to yell at her and doing all the hand gestures and all this. It's like, she's not a fighter. That's why she said Teddy has his own thoughts. Like, she's being funny or stupid or whatever you want to call it, but she's just not a fighter. But I appreciate the fact that Jayla did back off and was like, listen, I'm not going to fight somebody who doesn't want to fight me, which is better than I can say for Tommy, because what was Tommy doing smacking and whacking Bobby? What was that about? I don't even know what they were fighting about, but the fact that Bobby clearly either doesn't want to or can't hit her back, it seemed like Tommy was taking advantage of that. You know, I don't know if Bobby wouldn't hit her because he's not a fighter, or because maybe he's a man and he knows like he can't hit a woman, or maybe it's something in the contract. I think he's just not a fighter. But regardless, like, don't put your hands on somebody that's not putting their hands on you back. Like, and it bums me out because I always I generally really like Tommy, but like we don't really like bullies. I'm not really a fan of bullying. And on another note, because I've been just going in on Meatball, she does have heart. And I learned that in this first episode of the reunion because it was like fight after fight after fight. Okay, she fought Tinka first. Tinka came out. See, but Tinka came out and like looked at her like face to face like a proper fight and was like, all right, let's fight. And then after that, Jayla went to fight her. And I felt like there was somebody in between that Meatball fought that I'm missing. This is what I mean about the fact that I'm watching the reunion because I forget. But regardless, back to back, multiple people fighting you. It gives bullying, but at the same time, it's like if each of these people have a problem with you, why would they act like they didn't just because somebody else also had a problem with you at the same time? So I don't really know how to feel about all that, but she did stand up and fight back to back to back. So, and I'm sure she knew that was going to happen, which is why she came on with like sports gear. Although I do feel like she was dressed like that a majority of the season. So I'm starting to think that's just her style. But can I touch on outfits really, really quick? I just want to touch on their outfits really quick. Okay. Jayla's sports gear, Meatball's sports gear. Tasiki's cute. She's giving like little boxer, so her outfit is very cute. Her hair was very cute. Biggie, I don't know what she's wearing. What is she wearing? I like casual, I feel like with some, Ed Hardy bedazzle vibes. Scotty with the body. Oh my goodness. That girl makes me question my sexuality. She is so fine. The fishnets, the skirt, the little... I love her. She's beautiful. I'm always going to think that about her. Not just her body, but her face. She has a very beautiful face as well. Her hair, I love the bob. Like, I'm not really like a short hair person, but her and Callie with the purple hair, don't change it ever. Don't change it ever. I love it. I'm not feeling the orange really on Callie, but this cute dress. It's giving elegant. It's giving, demure. Scott, there Tommy goes hitting Bobby. For what? Why? Stop. Tommy looks fine as hell though. Like her red hair, like the little snooky poof. Her lipstick too. I like her lipstick. Whoever did her makeup. But anyway, Tommy was giving casual. I like Tommy and Mariah, the way that they kind of showed off their hips with the way that their pants were. I don't know if you guys could like tell, but like it was like pants with like holes right where their hip dips were, so you can like. I just like pants like that, okay? Because I feel like it really shapes you. So I think for sure, Tommy, girl, stop hitting this man. He doesn't want to fight you. Anyway, I really don't like that she kept hitting Bobby for no reason. Back to outfits. Natalie's outfit, I didn't really give anything to me. Let me see the other girls. Bianca came in, very sportsy. Did I already say Bianca? I think I did. Sapphire always looks so fire in her outfits. Like it's like the outfits that Sapphire wears were literally made for her body, like custom tailored. But yeah, I think I covered like most of them. I'm just looking at my screen and kind of going from there. Oh, the hosts, obviously. The leg, the thigh. So sexy. Okay, so anyway, I don't know if I covered all of the fights. Tommy, I thought it was funny that she was gave a whole spiel about people being fake, but then she went up and started hugging Natalie, knowing that they have pending issues to discuss. So, okay, yeah, so it's right here. So Meatball fought Tinka first, I know that, and then Jayla, and then she fought somebody else. I know she did. Okay, I must be crazy then. I guess she didn't. Yeah, so that was Baddies Caribbean reunion part 1, my rehash. We will probably see, I don't know if we're gonna see the Diamond and Tasiki fight next week. I hope that we do, but we probably won't. There's gonna be like 4 parts, 5 parts, which whatever, Zeus needs to get it together. Next Sunday, I'm not going to get my hopes up like I did today. When I tell you I was refreshing and refreshing and refreshing, like before I finally found a comment that said, oh, they said 8. Where did they say 8? I'm sorry. I could talk about this all day. It's just pissing me off. So next Sunday, I'm not even going to check. Well, I'm probably going to check. But I just hope that it's made crystal clear. I'm not going to expect anything until 5 p.m. my time. Because today it was 8 p.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. my time. So, yeah, that was my recap for that. That was like the longest part of this episode. I talked damn near as long as the reunion was. But let us move on to the next topic. And these next 2 topics are not going to be nearly as long because I just have a little something to say. These 2 things came up as I was, listen, my last episode was 3 days ago. I didn't have a lot of topics, but I knew that I wanted to hop on here and talk about the reunion like immediately. So now that that's discussed, the part 1, the second thing I want to talk about, let's do Seb and Kayla. Let's do a little like less serious stuff before we get into Mama Tot. Because Mama Tot, I have a couple things to say about that. So Seb and Kayla, for those of you that don't know, there's a show on Netflix called Too Hot to Handle. It is pretty good. I am a fan. I've seen, I would say like most of the seasons. I missed like 2 or 3, but there were 2 couples in particular that stood out because they were still together. It was Emily and Kim, who are still together. They actually just welcomed their baby boy recently, and they're going strong. I think, how long have they been together now? I don't even know, but a couple years at least. And Seb and Kayla were going on 2 years. So what had happened was they were going strong. They were building a good following, each of them on social media. And then Seb was invited on a trip to go to New York Fashion Week. And apparently him and this girl, Micah, have the same manager. Micah is one of the women from Love is Blind. I forgot what season, but she ultimately obviously did not get married. She is single today. And so, single girl going to New York Fashion Week with a guy in a relationship. I believe there was another gentleman there as well. But anyway, Kayla went online because there were a couple of posts that were kind of making the audience and their fans question, like, where's Kayla? Posts between Micah and Seb. And the fans were kind of like, where's Kayla? What's going on? What's happening? And I don't know if Kayla felt embarrassed or what, but it ended up leading to them breaking up. And first she kept it pretty short and sweet, like it just didn't work out. My boundaries weren't respected and we're no longer together. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. The worst of it, from what I could see before she broke it down, was, I mean, it was just, it was like, there was a picture of like a group of them, and Micah and Seb were next to each other, and Micah had like her head on his shoulder. And then there was another one where like Seb was walking behind Micah and he was looking down, and it looked very suggestive, like he was looking at her bum. They're still up if you guys want to look at them, but yeah, so that happened. And then Seb went online and said something about it. He was pretty vague. I don't know if he said like much detail wise. I don't think he said anything that was like disrespectful or exposing in any way. But then Kayla went on and made a 6-part series and was like, well, since Seb wants to take it online, I'm going to take it online. And I was like, all right, so we're being fed today is what it sounds like. So of course I went through all 6 parts, and I mean, yeah, he said that he got invited on a New York Fashion Week trip, and I believe she knew Micah was going to be there because, like I said, they have the same manager, and she just didn't know that it was like going to be them presented as if they were together. Whatever Seb says today on Harry Jowsey's podcast is, oh, we weren't together the whole time. It doesn't matter. It was presented as if you were together the whole time. And that was kind of like the whole point that Kayla was making. She didn't know it was a trip that was supposed to be made to seem like they were together. Not in a relationship, but like on a trip together. Regardless, if you're posting social media and you're on a trip with another person and there's a woman there and your partner's not there, people might ask questions. And I really think if Kayla went on, because there were obviously people commenting like, girl, where's your man? Do you see your man with Micah? Da da da. Like, we talked and I'm very comfortable with him. We talked every night. I've talked to Micah as well. Like, they're just pictures, guys. I do think that maybe the pictures themselves weren't that disrespectful. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes. I haven't had a boyfriend in a very long time because they get on my nerves. But you know what? Regardless, it doesn't matter what I think because this is her personal boundary. And she expressed to Seb that she didn't appreciate A, B, and C. And he essentially, and she showed screenshots. So I'm giving you pretty accurate. If you want to go look, you can look. But he pretty much was very like dismissive, like, oh, whatever. Like, you either like deal with me doing this or you move on or something. I'm paraphrasing that one. Please go look because I don't want to like spread misinformation. But he was very dismissive. Like, he didn't care. Like, he was giving very like, deal with it. And she broke up with him. Like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm trying to set a boundary and this is how you act. And, he admitted on the Harry Jowsey podcast that he was being stubborn and he shouldn't have been stubborn. He should have like been more understanding of her feelings, and he understands how she feels now. They're not back together as of now, was what Seb said. But if they are, then I don't think it's going to come out. Like, I think Kayla probably wants to keep it private because maybe she's embarrassed that she took it online. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that whole thing, that sucked that they broke up. Micah, hold on a second. Just give me a second. Seb's a moron, first of all, for not respecting her boundaries and understanding like that this is something that's making your girlfriend feel insecure. Not this is something that this person's being controlling over you. You know what I mean? And I think, whatever, Seb's just... But I do genuinely believe that he loves her. I do. And I think as much as he wasn't showing online that he was heartbroken, he was. I think he's just not gonna... And he said this on the podcast too, like, he's not gonna come online and like cry on the camera. He's not the type of person, but... I kind of do hope to get back together. But I also hope that he doesn't see Micah again, because I think she was trying to... Her responses to Kayla, I don't know about the insecure comment. I didn't really appreciate that. That sounded kind of backhanded. Because what Micah said was like, she had told her side of the story and said that Kayla sent her a message that was really like off-putting. And when I read the message from Kayla, it didn't seem that off-putting to me. It seemed very like, I'm asking you, woman to woman, da-da-da, whatever. This is what I'm trying to say. And it wasn't like bitchy or rude or anything. So, I don't know. I don't really have feelings towards Micah. I'm just kind of like, I don't really like her. I probably wouldn't be her friend, but whatever. So that was that. They were broken up. I do hope they get back together. I think they really love each other. You know what I mean? Maybe when she asks him, when she sets a boundary, she communicates it in more of like, this is how I'm feeling, not this is what you need to do. Because sometimes I think that happens where maybe when we're setting a boundary where we sound too much like someone's parent instead of trying to, because there's ways to do it. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, oh, like it just makes me sad or it hurts my feelings or it makes me feel like you don't care, whatever, stuff like that, But then he needs to put his stubbornness to the side. And, you can learn and grow while you're in a relationship, depending on the severity and the issue that you're having, obviously. There's stuff that you just need to be single work on. But I think the things that they need to work on, they can do it together, personally. But that's Seb and Kayla. Let me see. Make sure I'm still recording. The last and final thing I want to talk about today is going to be... We're going to get a little bit political. Not like we did last time. But, okay, guys. So there's this thing going on with Mama Tot. And if you guys don't know, Mama Tot is I'm going to speak about her with the way that I genuinely feel about her, regardless of any political affiliation, okay? I think that Mama Tot is a wonderful, beautiful soul. I think that she genuinely means well. I think that she's kind. I think she's accepting of others, compassionate, empathetic. And I think very highly of her. I do. And those traits I do not often associate with people who are fans of Donald Trump, because forget the policies, forget the economy, okay? Because we can get really into the reality of what he means to the economy. But I don't want to get into that. Let's talk about being a human being for a second, okay? Someone that's spoken out and said horrible things towards women. Someone that has been accused and found guilty of, or found liable for, found liable for crimes against women. Somebody who has been seen in photos with a man who committed crimes against women and children. Someone who has said things about other races, people of color, that have led to them getting injured in the street. And someone who is just generally anti-human. Okay? Anti anybody but him. So all of those words that I just used to describe Mama Tot, I would never associate with somebody that supports a man that I just described, okay? I'm not going to take anything away from her because, number one, I have yet to see anything confirming that she loves Trump or that she's MAGA. And it's either because no one has sent it to me or because it doesn't exist. And listen, if I see it in the next week, we'll touch on it again. But I'm just saying at this point, I haven't seen it. And if she, I think it all started because something, okay, so we have a hurricane, right? Hurricane Helene, I hope I'm saying that right. That is just doing a lot of damage, okay? And I think she made a video saying that she was angry and, you know, people are seeking relief, and maybe she made insinuations that people weren't doing anything about it, people being the government. And I don't know. I haven't seen anything as far as her liking. I feel like I'm going through like a really deep feeling, just accepting the fact that she might be. I don't know. Listen, there have been times where I did not feel like so hot, okay? And I came on the internet and I was on TikTok scrolling and she was there to sit with me. And I don't think that she does that to be manipulative, to win people over. I think she genuinely knows that that's what people need and that's what she does. I don't know, guys. I think she's a good person. And like I said, I'll be really disappointed in her, but regardless, I will not be commenting anything mean or, you know, I don't think people should be going to her page and spreading hate and saying mean things. I don't like that. I really don't. It's hard when you like, and this isn't even just about Mama Tot. This is about like family, because I have one or two family members that, you know, you just grew up with them and you just can't believe some of the shit that comes out of their mouth. Anyway, all right, I don't want to get depressed on you guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for chismeando and chilling with me today. Until next week, or, you know, we have something pressing to talk about, I will do it before a week. Yeah, okay, bye.